Hello, and welcome to the course. If you're watching this video, you've registered for one of the following two courses, either the undergraduate immunology course offered by the Department of Cell Biology and Neuroscience, which is the vast majority of you, about 300 in fact. However, a handful of you are registered for the graduate section of the course, Current Concepts of Immunology, which is offered by the graduate program in microbiology and molecular genetics. Whichever of these two courses applies to you, this video is relevant. It will really just serve as an introduction to the course, a summary of the syllabus, and an explanation for how the course is going to work, particularly given the asynchronous online format that we're going to use again this year for fall 2021. So I'm Brian Daniels. I'm the course director. I'll be teaching about the first half of the course and sort of overseeing the entire thing. So I thought I would introduce myself to you just a little bit. I did my undergraduate studies in English and behavioral biology, followed by a PhD in neuroscience, which I earned from Washington University in St. Louis. During my graduate studies, I became really interested in infectious diseases of the nervous system, and this began my interest in immunology, which is what brings me here before you today. Following my PhD, I did a postdoctoral fellowship in immunology at the University of Washington in Seattle, and continued my studies of viral infection, West Nile virus, and Zika virus infections of the brain. And so following this training, I started my lab here at Rutgers in January of 2019. You can see a picture of my lab here at the bottom of the slide. But overall, we study interactions between the immune system and the nervous system using a variety of disease models. So we study viral encephalitis using Zika virus and other viruses, as well as some non-infectious diseases of the brain, including Parkinson's disease and traumatic injury. And so if you're interested in what the lab does, you want to hear more, I'll try to sprinkle in a few anecdotes throughout the lectures coming up in the course. But you can also check out our lab website at the address that you see here on the slide. A little bit more about me. I live in Brooklyn with my husband Jing Feng and our twin daughters, Bibi and Didi. They were born in January of 2019, so they're about a year and a half. And we've had a great time raising twins in the middle of the pandemic. It's been really nice, a good distraction, also a lot of work, as you can imagine. But it's possible that they may also make a cameo appearance in the course as we go throughout the course of the semester. They are known to barge into a room during a Zoom meeting or two. But stay tuned for them. But in addition to me, there are two other faculty who are involved in the course. Dr. Ping Xie and Dr. Peng Jiang. These are my colleagues in the Department of Cell Biology and Neuroscience, and both accomplished researchers and educators that will be joining us later in the course. So Dr. Xie will teach sort of the middle portion of the course, and Dr. Zhang will sort of cover the last set of modules at the very end. So I'll let them introduce themselves as their sections of the course start, but you can look forward to learning more from them as well. So beyond the faculty, we will also make use of a textbook in this course, Janeway's Immunobiology. The information for this book is here. So there's more information in the syllabus about this book, but essentially we're going to cover a chapter of this textbook each week as we go through throughout the semester. I highly recommend getting access to this textbook through whatever means you typically do. But the readings that are associated with each module, like I said, about a chapter each week, I really recommend that you do them. I think they're a great supplement to the lecture videos. There's a lot of extra detail in the textbook that we won't have time to cover in lectures, for example. But there are other resources in the textbook, like study questions and so on, that I think make it a really useful aid as you prepare for the exams. So this is the textbook, as I said. I would try to get access to it if you can. I think it'll be really useful for you. But as I said, from the textbook, we're going to cover about a chapter each week. And so we've divided the semester into a series of 14 weekly modules. And so this is laid out here as well as in the syllabus. And you can see that we cover a chapter a week, mostly in order, following the order of the textbook. I will cover the first 6 weeks of the semester. Dr. Xie will then join us for 4 weeks towards the middle, and then Dr. Zhang will join us for the last 4 weeks at the end, and we will take a week off for Thanksgiving. As you'll see, each of the modules will have a series of lecture videos associated with it within the Canvas site, and we'll sort of have 4 major sections. In my 6 weeks of the course, it'll be divided into 2 sections, each of which has an exam at the end. And so you can make note of these exam dates as well. There will be 4 exams in the course. They will not be cumulative. They will only cover the material that immediately precedes them, the modules that immediately precede them. This includes the last exam. The last exam will not be cumulative. It will only cover Dr. Jiang's section of the course. So we'll learn more about what all of these various topics mean, of course, as we go through the semester. But overall, this is the organization of the course, and within each of these modules, you'll really have one of 2 tasks to complete. The course is divided into a series of module quizzes, which I'll introduce first, and these are worth about 30% of your grade. Most of these quizzes are actually going to be embedded within the lecture videos themselves, and you'll see examples of that within the very video that you're watching. These questions will give you an opportunity sort of as the lecture is progressing to test your understanding, make sure you're keeping up with the topics that we're covering. And they're really designed to be practice questions more than anything. They're meant to be a study aid to help you solidify your understanding of the material and review for the exams. There will also be end-of-module quizzes, so these will not be embedded in videos. These will just appear at the end of the module in Canvas and be sort of like a summary, again, a review of the material associated with the entire chapter as opposed to an individual lecture. Now, these quizzes are not traditional quizzes in that they're not actually meant to test you, they're meant to be a study aid. And so for that reason, all of the quizzes in the course will have unlimited attempts, so you can take them as many times as you want while the module is open each week, and we will keep the highest score for any quiz that you take. So you have as many chances as you want to get a perfect score on each quiz. And of course the point is to learn the material on the quiz, not just to get the high score, but it's always nice to be able to do that. However, one caveat to this is that the quizzes will close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday at the end of the module. So you only have while the module is open during the week to work on the quizzes. After that, you will still have access to the lecture video, but you'll no longer be able to answer the quiz questions. So this is designed to make sure you're keeping up with the material each week, because we will be covering a lot of ground and moving very quickly. So make sure that you complete all of the quizzes associated with each module before it closes on Sunday, because they will not be reopened after that. So these are the quizzes. As I said, this is a great opportunity to get a really high quiz score, given that they're all unlimited attempt. Last year, when we operated the class in this format, most people had 100% quiz score at the end of the semester. So a great opportunity to really boost your grade, as well as study for the exams. So the exams will be more traditional. For the undergraduates in the course, again, which is the vast majority of you, these will be multiple choice exams that are given through Canvas. They'll sort of look like quizzes, but they'll be longer, and they will only be one opportunity. They will not be unlimited opportunity. And so in the multiple choice exams, you can expect to see questions that are very similar to the quizzes. They may be slightly more challenging. They may ask you to apply critical thinking or to think about solving an immunological problem based on what you've learned within the modules that are associated with that exam. But overall, they'll be pretty standard 4-choice, multiple choice exams. The exams will be open book, note resource. You can use whatever resources you have at your disposal for the most part, but there will only be 90 seconds per question. So you will not have enough time to look up the answers to every question completely de novo, basically. So I really recommend that you study for the exams, you prepare for them, come in ready to answer as many questions as you can. But if you want to consult your book and your notes in the course of the exam, then that is an option that you have. Importantly, we will not be using ProctorTrack or Lockdown Browser or anything of that nature. These will just be normal exams in Canvas. However, we will use a linear exam style in order to ensure the security of the exam. So that means you can answer one question at a time. They will appear in a random order, and you cannot move backwards through the exam. As you see each question, think about it carefully, select your best answer, and then you'll have to move on. Other than that, that's really the only limitation. So think about this structure, this style of the exam. Think about how that might inform the way you want to prepare for it. And then on the day of the exam, you'll have 12 hours to basically select a 90-minute window in which to take the exam. So the exams will be open between noon and midnight, basically, on Mondays, which is when the exams will be. And so take note of when the exams are in the syllabus. Think about what time you can reserve to take the exam. Because again, the exams will close strictly at 11:59 p.m. on exam day and will not be reopened. So it's very important that you make sure you leave enough time to complete the exam. And I highly recommend not waiting until the very end of the night so that you don't run into any technical issues or anything like that. So that is the way that the course will be organized for the vast majority of you. For the undergraduates, as I said, the exams will be in this style. For graduate students, you'll have a very similar experience. The quizzes will be the same and will be worth a similar amount of your final grade. However, the exams will be different and quite a bit more challenging. So for graduate students, you will not take the multiple choice exams. Instead, you will have some short answer / essay style exams where you're given 10 to 12 questions where you have to write out a paragraph response using critical thinking, using critical analysis of data or primary literature, or using the material that you've learned over the course of the modules to answer some more complicated problem, essentially. And so these short answer essay exams will also be open book and note, of course. And you'll have at least 3 days to complete them. So the exam will be posted at least 3 days before it's due, and you'll submit your typed answers on Canvas, and they'll be graded. They are also due on the test day by 11:59 p.m. And there will be more information about the graduate exams that will go out in a separate announcement, so you can stay tuned for that. So this is as the grade distribution of the course, the way the quizzes and the exams will work. However, there's one more assignment which is optional in the course, and that is the extra credit. So the extra credit assignment is a game called ImmuneQuest. This is a real-time strategy game where you take on the role of various innate immune cells as they fight a bacterial infection. And so this is a fun way to get some extra points towards your exam average. You can earn up to 9 points by completing the first 3 levels, which are completely free. I'll give you 3 points for each of the levels that you complete. You don't need any minimum score. As long as you can get to the very end of you can survive to the end of the level, you get the points for the level. So this game is challenging, so I would recommend getting an early start if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, because it can take you several tries in my experience. In any case, the levels have to be completed by Sunday, September 26th at 11:59 p.m. in order to earn the credit. And you have to register in the game with the information provided in the syllabus in order for us to have a record of your having completed the levels. And so I'll also say a little bit more about how to claim the points for the assignment a little bit later. But check out the instructions in the syllabus if you're interested in doing this, and follow those. And you have about a month to work on this if you'd like to participate. Okay, so that is the extra credit assignment. One last thing to cover, there will be some optional synchronous review sessions and office hours available to you. This will differ a little bit for each professor in the course, but for me, what I'm going to try to do is offer both in-person and remote options, both for kind of group review sessions as well as one-on-one office hours. And so these haven't been scheduled yet. I'm going to work with our TA, Marissa Linman, to publish or to send out some polls to find some of the best times that will work for the most students. But once we get those scheduled, those will be, again, optional resources for you if you'd like a little bit more review, have some of your questions answered, prepare for the exam in a different way. And so between the faculty in the course as well as the TA, you should have opportunities to get some additional help should you find that you need it. So stay tuned for more details on the review sessions and office hours. Okay, so that's it for our introduction. I welcome you to the course. We're going to have a lot of fun this semester. Immunology is a very big and complicated topic, but it's very interesting, and I'm glad you've decided to take the course with us, and I look forward to working with you all throughout the semester. Thank you.